Hey everybody, what's going on? Eric here, and you're watching Eric C's channel. Right now, I've got a Squier Jazz Bass sitting on the counter and needs a setup badly. A couple things I found that are not right with this thing, but it doesn't mean it's not fixable. So first off, I took some pictures of a few things that I see wrong with it right away, and one of them is the action height. So on the low E, this is what you're looking at as far as the action height at the 12th fret, and basically it's a 17th fret too. And on G string, this is what you're looking at as far as the action height, which matches up with the 17th fret as well as the 12th fret. So yeah, the action height is pretty high on this thing. Also, the bridge itself, for some reason, people like to arch the saddles, kind of make the saddle go with the radius of the neck. In this case here, they have one side lower than the other, especially on the E string and the G string of this bass here, which you can kind of see in this picture. Also, another thing I found with this bass, which is kind of puzzling, that I didn't take a picture of, but I'm going to show it to you right now. Now, this thing's in tune, and right here, there is a blue and white, what looks like either be a plastic card or a paper card inside there, and it's only taking up half of the space in the neck pocket. So I got to figure out why he did this, and I don't understand why they would have done it. I do know that this bass has an upgraded bridge on it compared to what comes with this guitar, which I also want to make sure that these screws are not stripped out in any way. So what I want to do is get these strings off of here and take this neck off and find out why they raised up one side and not the other on this neck. The only thing I can think of is, the action height right now is very high, so there is room to drop it over here. But the only thing I can think of why they did this is because they might have had the screws poking out through the saddles over here, and they didn't like that. Which that really doesn't make, too big of a difference, as long as, they're not palm muting on a bass, are you? I don't know, maybe he was or not, I don't know. But the wearing that's on this body, as far as the pickguard goes, is, there's some scratching over here, so obviously he was playing over here and using a pick or whatever, which I'm going to end up fixing that as well. But yeah, so let me detune this thing and start getting to work on it. So there's no relief in this neck at all after I tuned it up, and started thinking maybe, well, if the neck is really straight, maybe the strings will pull the neck in a little bit to show some relief, and there was nothing. Alright, so the strings are all loose. I'm not going to be using these strings, so I'm going to be cutting them off. And I always like to take the string and cut it off somewhere around this area over here. That way that this side string doesn't go and scratch up the body. And if you hold this one, you can remove it really quick, really easy from this side, so you're not scratching the body over there. Alright. So what I got for this thing is a set of Ernie Ball 45s to 100. Usually you go 45 to 105, but went a little bit lighter on the low side. So this is kind of a nice bridge. The saddles are nice and rounded, where it's got a nice seat for the string to sit in, compared to the stock one that was on here, which I've seen pictures of. What really concerns me right now is why there is a shim in the neck. That really shouldn't be there. And then I want to do a little bit of a cleaning on the headstock, a little bit of a cleaning on the neck, the fretboard, because there is some grime kind of like on the edges of the frets over here. The frets are really nice. These are not sticking out on the sides at all, even down here. So if this thing did have a fret job done to it, they did a nice job. But I do need to polish the frets a little bit. Alright, so that's it. Strings are off. I want to make sure the nut is not going to slide off of here. The action height at the first fret seems to be pretty good on this thing, as is too, so I don't think I'm going to do anything with that as well. Alright, I need a Phillips screwdriver. It's nice having the tools on the back wall. And I want to remove this pickguard here. Got other stuff over here right now as far as screws go, so I need to find some place to put all the screws for this guitar so I don't get them mixed up with any of the screws for the Epiphone, because I started doing a little bit of work on the Epiphone bass. Again, just a simple setup on that thing. But I needed guitar strings and thought about it. It's like, well, I can keep the strings that are on there. They look like they're fairly new, but I just got a couple sets of bass strings anyways. So this is the Candy Apple Red, the same thing as the other bass that I have, which is a P bass by Squier. And it also has a black matching pickguard on it, so they'll kind of look similar to each other, other than one being a jazz and the other one being a P bass. Alright. Yeah, they got it shielded inside there too. Wow, they got that shielding pretty thick in there. And it's also grounded as well. So as you can see, this is the outside. I don't know if you can tell how difference in the color is between this side being, covered up and this side being exposed to light and whatnot. You can kind of see there's a little bit difference here in the colors, which that's not going to be a big deal because as soon as I polish this up, they will match again. So I'm going to take a ruler and let's see here, so I don't have to kill my eyes. Let's use 16ths here and see where I'm at on this side of the neck. Let's see, so it's 5, I'm at 6 16ths on this side of the neck, and I am at, okay, so that's 6, I'm at 7 16ths on this side of the neck. So they really raised that up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove the neck, and I need to get a nice beefy screwdriver for these. Kind of feels like these were over tightened. Luckily they weren't over tightened too much to where the body cracked around the neck joint. Most of the time you get like a finish crack or something when you over tighten these guys. So I really don't think this shim needs to be in there. And plus it looks like shit the way they did it. Nice skunk stripe on the back of this thing. I wonder if that's painted on or if that's actually been routed out. No, it's actually been routed out and they put a new piece of wood inside there. Okay. Alright, I think I'm loose now. And I am. Yeah, nice snug fit inside there. So I'm going to put the neck down over here. And let's flip this puppy over. Alright, so what the hell is this inside? Why is it painted white? Alright, so is this factory? It's kind of interesting because there is a lip here. There is no lip down here, but there is a lip over here. So I've never seen anything like that before. Painted white, and there's somebody put a marker inside there, writing inside there of something. And there is a tape line around the edge over here where it was painted. I don't see any white remnants of paint inside of here. Well, once I get this cover off, I'll be able to see pretty good. It's fully painted behind the cover over here. That's pretty fucking wild. So, let's see something here. Let me drop these screws down because it feels pretty rough inside there. Drop these screws down a little bit more, and I gotta open up these screw holes, so I'm gonna take these screws completely out. Nice beefy screws for the neck. And the reason why I'm going to open up these screw holes just a little bit is because when you're fastening the neck to the body and you have two sets of threads, chances are when you go and tighten up that neck, yeah, you're snugging that neck up. If you're clamping it and holding it real tight over here to the neck to the body, as you screw it down, you won't have a gap over here. But it's say if you're not holding it real tight, and you might have like a thread between the body and the neck, so that means that the neck isn't being pulled to the body like you think it would be. So what I'm going to end up doing is opening up the screw holes that are on the body just a little bit bigger than the thread, not by much, because you don't want the neck to be moving from side to side as you're tightening it down. You want to still be the screws to still line up with the holes perfectly. So what I'm going to end up doing is opening up the hole just a hair and making it to where when I tighten up the neck, it will be sucking the neck to the body of the guitar. Now the only thing I could think of is that white is like a base coat for this, or a primer. Because usually with a candy apple red, you have like a silver base coat, or something, so you get the because the candy colors are pretty much like transparent. I'm holding the back plate because I don't want the back plate to drop. All right, so yeah, that's now what I want to do is I want to kind of level this a little bit, because there is a little bit of a high spot over here. Let's see here. Get one of my files out. So possibly this side over here is a little bit taller than this side over here on the body wise, maybe. I'm not too sure, because it was about a 1/16 higher on this side when I measured it. And I don't think this is what's causing this. But I do want to level this out a little bit. Make sure this is nice and flat. So what I'm doing is I'm holding the file flat with this surface over here and trying to knock this down over here that's around this edge. Without going through to the wood. So you can see it's lighting up over here. It's kind of changing colors. Right here is a nice bump right there. Let's see what the back of the neck looks like. Here's the back of the neck. There's a sticker or something that was right here. Now there was no shim in here, but I gotta remove this sticker here. And there is a marking, possibly a serial number or something underneath this sticker. Let's see here. And some type of a stamp that's in the wood. Can't really make it out. I'll polish that out to get that glue out of that. But I want to make sure that this is getting to be nice and even in here. There's a real big high spot right here. Hopefully you're not looking at the top of my head. Now I'm putting even pressure throughout this whole thing. Oh, that's much better now. Getting rid of this high spot over here. You can feel it. You can actually feel this go up as you rub your finger on it. Oh yeah, that's much better now. There was a high spot here, a little bit of a high spot over here, and this was all high over here. This side feels okay. A few little bumps that got flattened out. All right, so let me try to clean up this neck over here to get this crap off of it. And all I'm going to do is just use a little bit of the Scratch Doctor. It'll work. Alright, so I'm going to remove the rest of that glue that's right there. And I got to bring these burrs down. Alright, so it's underneath the clear, so it's some type of a stamp. There's no writing on the edge over here. They did a real nice job with this neck, finishing it all the way around. Beautiful job. But I need to take those down. So what I'm going to do for that, to get rid of those burrs that are around the edges, I'm going to use this. Get my monster of a drill here. So all I'm going to do to get rid of those burrs, because those burrs can keep the neck from sitting flush in there too. So I'm just going to taper them off a little bit. I'm not drilling new holes. I'm just cleaning up the edges of the holes. That's not doing anything to the threads. And you can't hear. Alright, so I got rid of the burr that was sticking up around the edge of the hole. So now this should fit perfectly flat with that. As long as this is nice and perfectly flat, the two should match up pretty nice. So let me kind of clean up this mess over here. Let's see how this neck fits in there now. Oh yeah, she sits in there nice. Really fucking nice. It's a little snug, but not really, really tight. So I think I took care of that edge problem, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take something and go around this edge here to kind of hide that. And I don't have a red paint pen. Shit. I thought I did. Let's see, I've got, what color is this one here? I believe this is just black. Come on. There's a ball inside here. There it goes. These paint pens come in fucking handy like you wouldn't believe. Oh, wait a minute. What else do I have over here? What color? Oh, that's a yellow one. No, I don't want yellow. And this one here is silver. So silver one will be good. Alright, nice little paint marker here. I just want to go over this just a little bit around this edge, just to hide the white coloring. Make sure it gets all the way up to that edge. Take a clean finger, go to that edge and kind of around it to remove any paint that might be past the edge. Now let that dry. There, so now you're not going to see the white anymore. So we're going to go to intermission right now and do a little bit of an unbagging. Something somebody out there in YouTube land ended up sending me an email about, and I thought it was a pretty cool idea, so I ended up picking this up. So I'll be right back. So Bluelightbandit sent me an email, and basically the Iron Age guitar accessories, he sent me a link to the knobs that I guess they were going to start making. And the knobs are a little bit different than what the stock ones are. So I ended up ordering a set. So thanks, Blue Light. That was a good idea that you had, and I picked up a set of them. So I already opened this up, and what they give you is, again, you know, a little card of advertisements, some business cards here, and they give you a little bag. Little bag, just like the bag that when Bluelightbandit sent me that special pick, just like the same bag. It's kind of a nice little bag. So what's in this bag? Well, he had an idea, Bluelightbandit that is, he had an idea that to replace the knobs on this thing with something new that Iron Age was coming out with. And so I ended up picking up a set of them. Also, Iron Age sends you some guitar picks. Nothing custom about these guys here, but there's 4 of them, I believe, in here. Yeah, 4 picks, so I got a little bit of extras. But what else was in this bag were new knobs. Now, these knobs are a little bit different than just the plain old Jane black ones that are on here right now. What these do, I get one out of the plastic, is these have a little bit of a red on the top. And now this dot here also is supposed to glow in the dark as well. So if I go like this, it's supposed to glow. It does. It's a like a bluish color. So what I did is I removed one of the knobs already, and just to see if these would fit. Now these are a lot heavier than the stock knobs, and they're made basically to fit right on here. So what I got going on here is basically I'm going to push this on here, but I have to get it lined up first. I want it to line up this way. Push that puppy on. Bingo. All right, so that's that. Now, to get these puppies off, you could use this and kind of like, which is a wire tie. If you can get up underneath it, which these are really, really close, and I can't really get up too well underneath it to pull it out. Well, I've got this tool here that I've been using for doing upholstery, and I've been using this to pop these puppies off, which works out really, really easily. So let's get the other knob. Now it gives me a chance to get the plastic from out underneath the knobs themselves. All right. So just a little something to dress this thing up a little bit more. So the volume's all the way up, and I want both these guys to be facing the same direction. Right there. And kind of push these guys on. There you go. So, not too bad. Gives it a little bit of a red match to body, maybe, somewhat. Pretty cool. So, thanks a lot, Blue Light, for letting me know about these guys. And, yeah, intermission's over. All right, now, so this is pretty much drying. Let me get my mess cleaned up over here. And I have an extra set of black knobs now, which I'm going to put with the rest of my guitar stuff. These little bags here are kind of nice to save. Sometimes you'll have like a bundle of screws or something, and you can have them put them in there. You can also label them. And this is a nice little gift bag that those knobs came in. So I'm going to throw this away. Ah, you caught me. So I've already taken the control cover off, and they shielded it real nice inside here. I mean, it's really smooth. It's not, not a shitty job at all. They did a beautiful job. All right, so this is pretty much dry over here, and it is flat. Now, I don't think that this was a 16th that I took off inside here, but there was quite a bit. It was a real big hump right over here, and it's kind of raised up around this edge pretty good. Now, I looked at the back of the pots. The pots are alpha pots, and they have A for the volumes and another A for the tone. So that's kind of what they did. They are, were they 250? And they're all 250s. So checking everything out inside here, the wires that are going to the pickups are a cloth shielding on them. It's kind of nice. Now there's supposed to be Fender pickups inside of here that this thing comes with, so that looks like it is what it is. So what I want to do is kind of like remove any type of debris and shit that might be inside of here. Like there is some wood chips inside here. I want to get rid of that. Before I put this back on, I do want to spray a little bit of a cleaner / lubricant inside those. Okay, so I got Deoxit D5 and I have Deoxit F5. So I want to use the F5 because that one has the lubricant. And what did I just drop? A little piece of my little sanding block. So I'm going to spray a little bit inside these. Now, again, on top of these cans, there is a high, medium, and a low. I always use the low setting on there. You don't really need a whole hell of a lot of this stuff. And this can should last you quite a few years. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a shake. Probably don't have to, but I'm going to do it anyways. Now, I've already had this thing plugged in when I had it when I was tuning up and I was fooling around with it. And there's really no scratchiness in the pots. They move pretty smooth, but getting the debris out of there and stuff, blowing air around here, might have got something inside there. So I'm going to kind of like just give it a little bit of a squirt. Not much. Just a little bit inside those pots. Go ahead and put this back in there. And it's got an, I don't think it's an orange cap, but it is a red capacitor inside of there. Make sure these wires are all tucked in nice and neat. Give these guys a little bit of a turn. And you see some plastic over here that I have to remove because I'm hearing that plastic rub. So I can go ahead and put this back on. Controls feel tight, they don't feel loose, so screws feel nice going in. They don't feel like they're going to strip out on you. So I don't think anyone's been in here besides me. So I do want to take this off of here. I can get this under here because these are pretty tight on there. To get that damn plastic out of there. Oh wow, these are pretty tight. I will have to take a pair of tweezers and pull that plastic out, unless I could do it with a pair of needle nose pliers, or maybe with this. I can get some of the plastic out with this. You know, I know that they put plastic to cover and protect and everything, but man, that plastic is a pain in the ass to get out of there. So what I want to do right now is to blow off the dust off the body. I want to level these guys off while I have no strings on it, so I'm going to need my Allen keys. Let's see if I eyeball this correctly. Am I going to be right? Oh no, it's smaller. There you go. So let's see. Kind of raise this up so they're all even with each other. I hate when people do this. I mean, I understand why they think it has to be this way, but it really does not have to be this way. So I'm using the edge of the pickup because that's a nice straight line. And raising these guys up to basically go with the line of the pickup. Alright, this end here needs to come up just a little bit more. Alright, so we're pretty straight with that now. So right now would be a good time to, even though I'm going to get my grubby hands on it again, but now that the pickguard is off of here, I can go ahead and get rid of this little dirt line that is around the edge over here and clean up the body a little bit. So again, as I stress this all the time, never use shop rags or any type of a paper towel on paint, finishes, anything. Chrome is a little bit more durable. You're not going to scuff chrome with a paper towel unless there's something in that paper towel that is going to scuff up chrome. But on paint, you know, you're looking at like sanding it with like a 4,000 grit piece of sandpaper, using a piece of paper towel to do cleaning and stuff. And when you're doing something like this, it's best to do little areas at a time, but you don't just blob it on and then wipe it off with the other side. You have to blob it on, use the wet side of the rag, and work it into the finish. That's the only way you're going to get scuff marks out. Or any other types of scratches that might be in your finish. You have to really work it into the finish to get it out. Once you've worked it in, then go ahead and start to remove whatever's on there. And I know this is kind of like an overkill to do this because I'm going to have my hands all over this thing. And that gets rid of the dirt line and blends the two finishes together. Like right over here I can see it really good. Over here I can see it's blended pretty good. And I'll work on this side now. This New Finish Scratch Doctor stuff works pretty damn good. There's other stuff that's out there that you can use as well. Meguiar's makes a whole line of polishes and waxes. I'm not sure if they do a rubbing compound. I never used a Meguiar's rubbing compound before, so that you can't quote me on. Adding pressure as I'm rubbing the finish. And this I'm just doing to match up the paint that's underneath the pickguard with the outside finish that is on the outside of the pickguard. And again, this stuff is not going to work unless you use a little bit of elbow grease to work it into the finish and polish it out with either another rag or a clean area of the rag that you're using. Something about candy apple red that's just a real nice color. Alright, so right there we got both finishes pretty much match over here. There are some where they tighten the screws up, some marks in the finish with the from the pickguard. And now I want to work a little bit on this pickguard. I can almost guarantee right now that there's no plastic on this, is there? No. Alright, so I have some scratching inside of it, as you can see. You can really see it here and here. And I'm going to do it without sanding this first, to see how well. Actually, I'm going to use the #1 rubbing compound first. Let's see how well that's going to work. I gotta get some more of this stuff. And again, same rules apply. You know, don't just dab it on and then remove it. You have to work the liquid in in order for it to start doing something. Now this does have a mild abrasive in it, so it should cut these scratches down, hopefully quite a bit. It was a little bit dirty. And if it doesn't get it to where I want it, a little bit of sandpaper will help. Well, they're still there, but it's a lot better than what it was. You see right over here where I really didn't hit it too much. Over here is a lot better than what it was, but over here is still pretty shitty. The rubbing compound does not really smell very good. And you do want to be careful how much pressure you put on this thing, because you do not want to crack your pickguard. Yeah, it's a lot better than what it was. The bad thing about this is I don't have the sandpaper that I need to fucking fix this to get it back to like new. Shit. I've got like 400, 600, and 800 grit, but I do not have any more of the 1500 and 2000 grit, which actually I would hit this with a 1500 grit, 2000 and 3000. But I'm out of the smaller sandpapers because of all the fret leveling jobs I've done, so I'm going to have to just force it with this. Now I'm using the stage 2 rubbing compound. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Not by much though. I gotta get the sandpaper. At least with this pickguard here, I could mount this to the guitar, and if I need to take it off anytime later on, it will come off with no problems. I won't have to take the strings off or anything else. So So let's use a little bit of Scratch Doctor on this now. I have tried plastic cleaners and polishes for small scratches and stuff. That shit is a waste of time. It does not work the way you would think it would work. And yeah. So I'm going to go over this a few times. You gotta be careful with plastic on a buffer, because you could burn through plastic or melt plastic really quick when you're using a buffing wheel. The RPMs will melt plastic. Let's see what we got here after we get done doing this. Let me wipe the back of this off because I got rubbing compound and shit on the back of it. Unfold this. See, that's the nice thing about using a towel. Need a clean side, just fold it. Alright, so I got a clean rag here. No rubbing compounds on it. Well, it's not like glass. But it is a lot better than what it was. See, the marks went down here. It's down a little bit over there. I guess without the sandpaper, I'm not going to be able to finish just the way I want to finish it. So, I'll go ahead and put this on the guitar bass. And then when I get my sandpapers and shit like that, I will end up making this look like fucking new. Alright, so I'll probably put this back on without having to put the, yeah, there's enough room around the edges. That's the wrong screwdriver. This is the one I want. thread them in by hand first so you know you're not cross threading anything. Next I want to cut those holes, drill those holes out a little bit bigger. I just want the screw to slide into those holes. That's basically what I want it to do. Then once I have the neck installed, I can go ahead and start polishing this thing out a little bit more before I put the strings in it. Oh, and I did check to see if that was grounded, and the bridge is grounded, and the screws are nice and tight, so that ain't going nowhere. Alright, so that's that. Yeah, see the screws on this are nice and tight. Alright, checked it once, check it again. Yeah, they ain't going nowhere. Alright, so next thing to do is to drill these guys out. So I need one of these screws. Get my micrometer so I know what size these are. Okay. Now sometimes screws like this one here, okay, you may not be able to tell it, but there are lobes on this screw. See, this is a micrometer, and if I stick this in there, if this was completely, if this screw was completely flat all the way around, like perfect circle, I'd be able to turn this screw around inside of it. There's lobes on it. And when you look down on it, you can kind of see it's like a triangle lobe. I used to work at a screw factory. That's how I know about those. All right, so let's see here. That's a little bit too big. That's a little bit too big. That's what's nice about having caddies for drill bits. Perfect. That one should do it. So what I'm going to do is just go in from the back and let the drill bit do the work. I'm not going to put any pressure, and I'm not going on any angles. I'm going to let the drill bit follow the hole that's already in the body. Alright, so let's see where I'm at. Screw should be snug, but slide in there. See, now I can turn them. Before I couldn't turn them. There you go. That's what I want right there. So now when I put the screw in, it'll pull the neck all the way to the body of the pocket of the neck pocket. Make sure there's no burrs here. No burrs, no burrs. All right, so I don't need the drill bit anymore. Alright, so again, I got rid of the burrs over here. And there's just some type of a little type of emblem or something right there. I don't know what the hell that is, but it's under the clear. Clean this up. This is all nice and clean. It's all flat again. So now what I want to do is match the neck back to the body of the guitar. Just like this. Turn this puppy over. Let it rest on top of the counter. Get my back plate. So before I wasn't even able to screw these in by hand, or unscrew these by hand. Now they basically just fall right in there. So I need my large screwdriver. I want to stand the guitar upwards, if I can. Oh, I can't, the ceiling's too low. So what I'm going to do is pull this thing in as tight as I can get it to the body. Alright. Start with the top screws. Go to the bottom corner. Now the nice thing about this is I just watched as I tighten this, the body, the neck pull into the body. A little bit tight. Oh yeah, it's a lot better than what it was. Yep. Before it kind of looked like there was a gap there. Now it doesn't look like it's a gap at all. That might be the reason why I was seeing the white underneath, and also why one side of the neck was up higher than the other, because it wasn't screwed all the way down to the neck pocket. The neck wasn't screwed all the way down to the neck pocket. So now if I take that ruler, and I said that was on 16ths, right? Well, I'm going to get a false reading now because I'm on top of the pickguard, right? Alright, so this side there is 1, 2, 3, 4 64ths on this side. And it's 4 64ths on this side. So that debris or whatever was in this pocket over here was keeping this neck twisted like that. So it was not a shim that somebody put in there. It was basically what they did at the factory. So that's it for this video. Next will be, just cleaning up the frets, cleaning up the neck a little bit. Now, one thing I wanted to check too. Now I got my tool for doing bass necks. She's got a little bit of back bow in it. So where's my, let's see if I can get rid of that back bow. Okay, back bow is gone. And we are flat from one side to the other. No gap in the middle. Frets are nice on this. does not need a fret job. Does not need a fret leveling job. It's all good. So there you have it, folks. A little bit of the Squier P bass, or sorry, Jazz Bass. And hopefully this video can help somebody else out as far as, you know, wanting to do a setup. Now, setup is not done yet. I still have to put strings on it. I still want to polish up the body a little bit more before I put strings on it. And I must have spit on the damn thing. And you know, get her set up and tuned up and everything else. So that's it for now, and I'll catch you all later.